Hello everyone, this is the presentation of Group 3. Our theme is coffee and our chosen product is Nescafe Original. In this presentation, we will be able to show the answers to these questions regarding to the product of Nescafe Original Coffee.
Nescafe original ingredients are sugar, coffee creamer, glucose syrup, hydrogenated vegetable oil, sequestrants, dipotassium phosphate, trisodium citrate, sodium polyphosphate,
caseinate, emulsifier, maltodextrin, iodized salt, stabilizer, natural identical flavor,
Sweetener, asulfame potassium, calcium carbonate, mono and diglycerides, instant coffee, salt.
Nescafe Instant Coffee. First launched Nescafe in Switzerland on April 1, 1938. It was predicted to be a huge success. But then, World War II started in 1939. During the war, Nescafe was a staple in the food rations of the US forces, and they loved it. Iodized salt. After researchers determined that iodized salt was the answer, it was first introduced as a commercially available food item in Michigan in 1924. The Salt Institute estimates that nearly 70% of the table salt sold today in the United States is iodized. Stabilizer CMC. Linyi City, China produced carboxymethyl cellulose. Its mean CMC in short is a sodium salt derivative of cellulose that can change the performance and flow of water, as well as texture of food. Cellulose gum, also known as sodium carboxymethyl cellulose, is a common thickener in a wide range of foods and beverage. Unlike cellulose, it can be used as a suspending agent, stabilizer, film maker, or thickening agent, and it is water soluble CMC. Is useful in gluten-free baking because it adds viscosity and volume to dough and bread in the same way that gluten proteins do. Nature identical flavor. A nature-identical flavor means it's the same molecule as what is found in nature, except is isolated or synthesized to produce the equivalent compound in the US nature. Identical is considered artificial. Sweetener, acesulfame potassium. Originally developed by German research in 1967, acesulfame potassium was first approved for use in Europe in 1983.
Sugar. The first chemically refined sugar appeared on the scene in India about 2,500 years ago. From there, the technique spread east toward China and west towards Persia and the early Islamic worlds, eventually reaching the Mediterranean in the 3rd century. Coffee creamer. To make these ingredients, we need glucose syrup, hydrogenated vegetable oil, caseinate, salt, and some chemicals. Glucose syrup. Glucose syrup was first made in Russia by Gottlieb Hope using heat and sulfuric acid. Hydrogenated vegetable oil. Cultivation began 1,000 years ago. People used whatever they could get their hands on for a variety of cooking purposes. Later, they learned to heat up oily plants with the sun, a fire, or an oven in order to collect the oils. As early as 3000 BC, China and Japan produced the first oil, soybean oil. By 2000 BC, Southern European began to produce olive oil. Caseinate. Casein is precipitated from skim milk by acidifying it to produce acid casein, or the milk is treated the rennet to produce rennet casein. The precipitated casein curd is separated from the whey, wash, and dry. The water-soluble derivatives of acid casein produced by reaction with alkalis are called caseinates. Salt. The earliest systematic exposure of the different kinds of salt it used and the method of its extraction was published in China around 2700 BC. Maltodextrin. To make an maltodextrin, we need maize, wheat, potato starch. Maize. By native people by about 9,000 years ago, they used many generations of selective breeding to transform a wild theosite grass with small grains into the rich source of food that in modern Siam maize. Maize is origin from Mexico. Wheat. More than 17,000 years ago, humans gathered the seeds of plants and eat them. After rubbing off the husk, early people simply chew the kernel raw, parched or simmered. Wheat originated in the cradle of civilization in the Tigris and Euphrates River Valley, near what is now Iraq. Potato starch is extracted from the tuber of Solanum tuberosum, which was first cultivated around AD 200 in Peru.
Sugar is an important export in many countries worldwide, like India, Thailand, and Brazil. Glucose syrup, Spain, the top one exporters of glucose syrup account for 8,562 shipments. Hydrogenated palm kernel oil. Kernel oil remained rare outside West Africa. Instant coffee. Brazil, Vietnam, Colombia, and Indonesia. These are the countries all located in the tropics. Modified milk ingredients. South America, one of the producers of modified ingredients. Salt. Number one salt producer in the world is China. The potassium phosphate. North America, Spain, and UK has been segmented in these countries.
Calcium carbonate is an antacid to relieve heartburn acid in the indigestion and upset stomach. Datum is an emulsifier primarily used in baking to strengthen the gluten network in dough. It is added to crusty breads such as rye to impart springy, chewy texture. Graham salt, the white crystalline powder in appearance, is an inorganic substance. It is very soluble in water but insoluble in organic solvents. It is highly hygroscopic and it can gradually absorb moisture and expose to the air and become a viscous gel. Mono and diglycerides. Fatty acids refers to a naturally occurring class of food additive composed of diglycerides and monodiglycerides, which is used as an emulsifier. It is also used as a fruit coating agent. This mixture is also sometimes referred to as a partial glycerides. Natural flavor means the essential oil, oleoresin, essence or extractive protein, hydrosate, distillate or any product of roasting, heating, enzymolysis, which contains the flavor constituent derived from a spice, fruit or juice, vegetable juice edible. Sodium triphosphate. It is the sodium salt of the polyphosphate pentaanion, which is the conjugate base of triphosphoric acid.
Nescafe has been a pioneer in the coffee industry for more than 75 years, making it the first coffee to be created. Nescafe is sold in more than 180 countries throughout the world, including Mexico, Australia, Japan, South Africa, France, Spain, Germany, India, and more.
Trivia and fun fact. First, the sharpening of the memory. Even if it's only for a moment, helps to improve the memory. Second, coffee is a fruit despite its being called a bean. Coffee is actually a fruit. The beans grow on a bush and are found in the center of a berry, known as a cherry berry. Third, headache reliever because coffee contains caffeine that fights against headaches and migraines.